Today's news highlights 20251008. Date October 8, 2025. Republic of China October 8, 114. Time cutoff point, 1500 hours on the same day. Source, Internet, major news media and channels, official accounts, app data. The channel content is only concise news content and does not have any perception or emotion. News highlights. The cold dew solar term symbolizes the arrival of late autumn, the weather turns cold, and the temperature difference between day and night is large. At this time, it is advisable to moisten the lungs and nourish yin, warm and nourish without dryness, and eat yams, chestnuts, lotus roots, white fungus, pears, etc. Zodiac ox, snake, and sheep are prone to fatigue or depression, so it is recommended to use red date longan tea and yam soup to recuperate. Scorpio, Sagittarius, and Pisces should nourish the heart and stabilize emotions. After the cold dew, it is the best time to enjoy chrysanthemums, and the Sea of Chrysanthemums in Meili-tong Gluo Hangzhou is the most representative, suitable for going out to enjoy autumn and enjoy flowers and exercise. News highlights. Recently, the public discovered 2 lines of English numeric codes on the eggshells of Chuanlian eggs, which sparked discussion. Experts said that the upper row is the traceability code, and the bottom row is the packaging date and production method, of which the suffix letter represents the feeding method, O organic, F grazing, B flat feeding, E enrichment cage feeding, C general cage feeding. Caged eggs account for more than 80% of the market, and friendly eggs are still being promoted. Consumers can check the source of eggs through traceability codes or QR codes to purchase with peace of mind. News highlights. Diabetics can eat fruits, but the focus is on what, how much, and when to eat. When blood sugar is high, sweet bananas, lychees, persimmons, red dates, etc. should be avoided, and dried fruits should also be eaten sparingly. Watermelon contains fructose and has a low blood sugar impact, so it can be eaten in small quantities. It is recommended to eat 1 to 2 servings of fruit a day, which can be eaten as an additional meal or before meals, and measure blood sugar 2 hours before and after to grasp personal reactions and avoid blood sugar spikes. News highlights. Recently, a Taiwanese college student and a 69-year-old doctoral student took a group photo holding the calligraphy of one family on both sides of the strait, which was hyped by the CCP as Taiwanese college students yearn for reunification, but most students think it is just a cultural exchange. Scholars pointed out that the prevalence of fake news and the lack of education to read the CCP can easily affect young people's cognition. Experts suggest strengthening civic education, citing information on China's current situation, and cooperating with the government and the private sector to make up for the lack of formal education to prevent young people from falling into the United Front trap. News highlights. On October 7, Taiwan's National Space Center held the launch ceremony of the first satellite Zeppelin of Fuwei 8, which will be sent to California, USA to be launched on the SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket in November. President Lai Ching-te stated that the self-made rate of key satellite components has reached 84%, symbolizing an important milestone in Taiwan's space technology. Fuwei 8 has a total of 8 optical telemetry satellites, with a higher resolution than Fuwei 5, which will build a ground observation network that will be widely used in land planning, agricultural monitoring, disaster response, and environmental protection, and strengthen national space resilience and national security. The satellite's name pays homage to the late director Led Zeppelin, which also carries spiritual symbolism. News highlights. The 2025 Nobel Prize in Physics was awarded to John Clark, Michel de Voret, and John Martinis in the United States for their pioneering experiments in the mid-80s of the 20th century, bringing quantum phenomena from the microscopic to the macroscopic electronic circuits for the first time. By interfacing Josephson through a superconductor circuit, they demonstrated that billions of charged particles can act collectively like a single quantum entity, laying the foundation for quantum cryptography, quantum computers, and quantum sensors. The 3 scientists also cooperated with Google to promote the application of quantum technology, with a total prize of about $120. News highlights. Sources in the circle pointed out that Zhang Jinglin and Chen Rui, the son of the second-generation star Karen Chen, have been in a stable relationship for many years, and it is suspected that they have been married in a low-key manner. The two have been in love since 2 years ago, and Zhang Jinglin has publicly stated that he is chasing Chen Rui. Chen Rui avoided the entertainment industry and ran a glasses brand, and the two cherished this sibling relationship because of their similar entrepreneurial concepts. News highlights. Former Beijing Mayor Hou Longbin ran for the chairman of the Kuomintang and proposed a 2-stage plan of blue and white. Next year's 9-in-1 election will first form a joint nominating committee to negotiate local candidates, and then jointly nominate candidates in the 2028 presidential election to unite the party and deepen opposition cooperation, striving to break the vicious circle of local wins and presidents lose. News highlights. Director Wei Desheng has made a name for himself with Cape No. 7 and Sedek. Bala has become the light of national films, but it has repeatedly fallen into debt entanglements. In March this year, his company Yongkang Pictures was recovered by Zhonghua Bank for a loan of nearly 4,000 yuan, and the court ruled that Wei Desheng must repay jointly and severally, which aroused concern about his financial situation. News highlights Zhe Payment sold 40% of its equity to Taishan the year before last, but the intellectual property court ruled that the transaction was invalid. Taishan accused Zhe Jinky of failing to return nearly 1.4 billion yuan in settlement money, suspected of misappropriating group funds, and has filed a complaint for embezzlement. Hu Yujia said that the money was collected on behalf of others, and the dispute was a civil dispute, and the case was still under trial in the second instance. News highlights TSMC stock price has risen nearly 50% this year, driven by AI demand and advanced processes. The Motley Fool pointed out 3 reasons to be optimistic about the market outlook: strong chip demand, U.S. production capacity has been booked until 2027, and continuous innovation in manufacturing processes. News highlights Huang Qiaqing's paparazzi storm continued to spread, and former Central News Agency reporter Xie Xinjin and others secretly photographed the characters of the green camp and sold them to the blue camp, causing controversy. Holian clarified that she was involuntarily involved and did not enter Pan Mengen's residence knowingly. Wang Hongwei emphasized that the incident was in the public interest, and responded that Ho's article deviated from the facts, insisted on protecting the source of the revelations, and appealed the Pan Mengen case to fight for judicial justice. News highlights the Trump administration in the United States frequently invests in companies in key industries, including rare earths, lithium, and chip manufacturing, and each investment has triggered a sharp rise in stock prices, attracting investors to pay close attention and make plans in advance. The analysis pointed out that the market popularity is mostly based on news and speculation, and stock prices fluctuate violently, and the government is also targeting overseas mining companies such as the United States, Canada, and Australia to grasp strategic resources. News highlights TSMC stock price hit a new high, with a market capitalization of 37.2 trillion yuan, and Motley Fool is optimistic about the market outlook, citing a surge in global chip demand, sold-out U.S. production capacity, and continued technological leadership. Emerging applications such as AI, self-driving cars, and quantum computing will boost foundry orders, and it is expected that stock prices and revenue will still have room to rise. News highlights Saudi Arabia has launched Alam 34B, the world's largest Arabic large language model, equipped with a Humane Chat application, marking a breakthrough in AI technology in the Middle East. This move drives the development of local sovereign AI, and AI server foundries such as Honhai and Wyvern are expected to benefit, with Honhai and Saudi Arabia having the most niche cooperation. News highlights due to the blockage of negotiations between NVIDIA's original plan of T17 and T18 land and Shinkong Life's superficial rights contract, the Beijing city government launched the Plan B, intending to recommend T12 and integrate about 3 hectares of surrounding private land for filing, waiting for NVIDIA's nod to start administrative procedures. News highlights 43-year-old host and actor Yang Qibi regained her marriage after 9 months of divorce and devoted herself to work and family. She is busy hosting the Golden Horse red carpet, promoting the stage play Countdown to Marriage and the movie premiere, saying that she has no intention of talking about feelings for the time being, and focuses on work and children. News highlights it is reported that the Taiwan professional basketball Taiwan Beer Clouded Leopard cheerleading team Electric Leopard Girl will usher in the first Korean cheerleader to come to Taiwan, and it is reported that it may be the Doosan Bears baseball team and FC Seoul cheerleading ace Soo Hyun-suk. She is 168 centimeters tall, highly popular in South Korea, and has the status of a representative cheerleader of the third generation. News highlights the male star Yan Zhenqiu, who debuted as a child star, died of stage 4 lung adenocarcinoma at Bangkiao Far Eastern Memorial Hospital at the age of 50. In the past, he performed in Good Boy, and Cornerhead series and other works. Netizens found that it was in Young Man, Peace. The character Aguo also coincidentally passed away during the Mid-Autumn Festival, which sparked discussion. News highlights actress Zhang Jinglin has been dating Chen Rui, the second generation of stars, for 2 years, and recently it was reported that she got married in a low-key manner and moved into a new home in Dan District, Taipei, with a total price of about 3,350 yuan. Karen Chen said that she did not know but respected her son's decision, and praised Zhang Jinglin as a good girl. News highlights Yan Zhenqiu, who was born as a child star, died of lung adenocarcinoma at the age of 50. He went astray and was imprisoned for 11 years in his early years, during which he corresponded with pen pals for 6 years, and after being released from prison, he registered his marriage and had a pair of children. He once described this relationship as the truest miracle in life, which is embarrassing. News highlights Lin Hongsan, the head of Dawin Excavator Engineering Company, died of sepsis due to a leg injury at the age of 48 in order to support the disaster area of Hualien dammed lake collapse and repaired roads for 8 consecutive days. The volunteer recalled that he carefully advised the elderly, and his rough appearance hides gentleness, and netizens appreciated his disaster relief spirit and praised him as a true hero. News highlights with the popularity of Uber and Line Taxi, the scheduled taxi services in department stores, stations, and airports have been repeatedly questioned. Passengers reported poor driver attitude, arbitrary detours, dirty and messy cars, and even cockroaches. Netizens suggested using ride-hailing apps instead, and called on the competent authorities to strengthen management and establish evaluation and punishment mechanisms to enhance the overall image of scheduled buses. News highlights: as an important symbol of China's semiconductor independence, SMIC is testing domestic 28nm DUV exposure machines and trying to produce 7nm chips with multiple graphics technology, but it is still restricted by US sanctions and cannot obtain EUV equipment. Although it has policy and financial support, its advanced process yield is only about one-third of TSMC's, and the cost is 50% higher. News highlights: during the general questioning of the Legislative Yuan, Kuomintang Fu Kunkai had a fierce confrontation with Premier Zhou Rongta on the issue of responsibility for the Hualien floods. Fu repeatedly accused the central government of abdicating responsibility, but Zhou refuted and counterattacked. During the process, Fu took a water bottle to drink water. Susan Zhou, this is your level, Zhou wittily replied, that's your tea bottle, which detonated the laughter of the audience. The video went viral, and netizens praised Zhou Rongta's humorous reaction and full of firepower. News highlights: a woman surnamed Chen in Mieli drove a car and crashed into a man surnamed Wang's vehicle, and the two sides went to court over the cost of renting a car. Huang Nan proposed to sign a lease agreement with a third party and quote the road traffic management regulations of the People's Republic of China, claiming 81,000 yuan. The Mieli District Court still ruled that Chen Nu must compensate for the car rental fee, which raised doubts. The court stated that it was proved that Huang Nan did have a need to rent a car, and the judgment was determined based on the evidence, and Chen Nu had appealed. News highlights: former Taipei Mayor Kei Wen's testified in court yesterday, denying that he had a close relationship with former staff member Su Ziyu, emphasizing that she did not have any funds, but the prosecution presented multiple pieces of information showing that Su had assisted in handling millions of funds. Kei once praised him as just an accompanying secretary, but it was difficult to explain why she was responsible for bookkeeping and financial transactions. Li Wenzong, the former chief financial officer of the competition, once denounced Su for messing around with Kei Hu, indicating that there has long been internal dissatisfaction and suspicion. News highlights: former United Daily News reporter Ho Lian recently revealed that in the 2023 incident of secretly filming Pan Mengan, the governor asked her to cooperate with Kuomintang legislator Wang Hengui, but she did not agree with the practice and resigned. Wang Hengui responded that the report was published earlier than the press conference and denied the accusations. Ho Lian left a message late at night to counterattack, asking 3 questions, emphasizing that he had reported the rental information in advance, and questioned whether Wang Ban sent another person to take pictures and selectively release information, and the two sides exchanged fire in the air. News highlights: good boy actor Yan Zhenqiu died of lung adenocarcinoma this afternoon, 7th, at the age of 50. Agent Steele Dad revealed that he was in the terminal stage when he was diagnosed last year, but he still bravely fought cancer for a year and finally died of illness. The family is immersed in grief, and the details of the farewell ceremony will be announced separately, and fans and partners express their condolences. News highlights: millions of YouTuber Andy broke up with Jianing after a financial dispute broke up, and Jianing's mother, Zhang Shuwai, sued Andy for defamation and violation of the Personal Information Act, but the prosecution ruled not to prosecute. Andy said that although he was falsely accused of intimidation for money and filial piety fees, the judiciary has returned his innocence, emphasizing that justice may be late, but it will not be absent. News highlights: the 2025 Taipei Labor Film Festival announced the shortlist of the 19th Labor Awards yesterday, 7th, and 8 international observation films, focusing on issues such as gender in the workplace, the medical care system, and the impact of AI. Spokesperson Zhang Piyu bluntly said that actresses have long suffered from appearance anxiety and role limitations, reflecting general inequality in the workplace. The festival will be held at S-Light Cinemas from October 25 to 31, and audiences can request tickets for free from October 8. News highlights: good boy and corner head actor Yan Zhenqiu died of lung adenocarcinoma yesterday, 7th, at the age of 50, and the news shocked the entertainment industry. Coincidentally, actor Wang Jianmin also died of lung adenocarcinoma on the same day last year at the age of 56, causing sighs. Yan Zhenqiu mourned deeply, emphasizing that his spirit will always remain in his heart. News highlights: Taiwanese 8 actress Xing Gui lost weight due to a recurrence of depression, and after the doctor's advice, she decided to suspend her acting work and quit her performance in the 8 o'clock show Beiwei Life. Sanli TV emphasized respecting his health priority and wished him a speedy recovery. Xing Gui also reported safety through the community, thanking them for their concern and promising to work hard to recuperate. Her role will be seamlessly taken over by Chen Yanan. News highlights: singer Fan Wiki shared yesterday, 7th, that she received a pillow woven by Sue's mother, symbolizing the continuation of maternal love, which deeply moved her after losing her mother for nearly 2 years. On the same day, it coincided with the Mid-Autumn Festival and the 49th birthday of Big S Su Ziwan. Fan Wiki said that she wanted to treat Sue's mother as her own mother, and the two hugged and comforted each other, feeling the power of love and companionship. News highlights: Yan Zhenqiu, a 50-year-old actor and born in Good Boy, died of stage 4 lung adenocarcinoma and died after extubation at Far Eastern Memorial Hospital on the 7th. Yan Zhenqiu has directed films such as Jiao de Tu, and after being released from prison, he actively participated in public welfare, and his posthumous works include Guppy and Applaud Love Tonight. News highlights A16Z and Mercury released their first AI spending report, revealing the 5 most common trends in startups. General-purpose LLMs such as OpenAI and Anthropic are at the top, vibe coding tools Replit are favored, creative design tools such as Canva and Midjourney are popular, vertical application AI is gradually replacing employees, and consumer-grade tools such as CapCut are accelerating their entry into the workplace. News highlights there is a phenomenon of hybrid crawling in the American workplace, with employers gradually tightening remote rights, and employees responding with coffee check-ins. Companies such as Microsoft, Amazon, and Dell have offered stricter regulations and even used this as a means of disguised layoffs, but the actual improvement in office attendance is limited, and most supervisors turn a blind eye, indicating that flexible work has been deeply rooted in the workplace culture. News highlights Perovskite solar energy is regarded as the third generation of solar technology, gradually moving from laboratory to industrialization due to its high efficiency, portability, and diverse application potential. Compared with the efficiency limit of about 26% of silicon crystals, perovskite is expected to exceed 30%, and can be made into thin, light-transmitting, and bendable modules for building exterior walls, smart windows, agri-electricity symbiosis, and IoT devices. Taiwan is expected to gain competitiveness in this field due to its complete supply chain, process innovation capabilities, and international synchronous starts. In the future, perovskite can also step into sensing and medical testing, becoming an important key to the global energy transition and the application of new materials. News highlights after the disaster in Hualien, a large number of volunteers emerged to desilt and rescue, but it was reported that Dawan's shovel hero Lin Hongsan unfortunately passed away due to injury and infection. Former Minister of the Interior Li Hongyuan reminded that the disaster area hides dangers such as bacteria, aftershocks, and unstable terrain, and should be stationed by National Army engineers with professional equipment and medical logistics to avoid carrying volunteers from being exposed to fatal risks. News highlights Canadian history professor Robert Wardow has been the Dungeon Master since 1982 and has hosted the longest-running Dungeons & Dragons campaign, certified by the Guinness Book of World Records. He transformed his basement into a huge game scene, collecting more than 3 handmade models and using his own rules to keep the game flowing. In 43 years, the campaign has not been interrupted for more than 2 weeks, and players are spread across the globe to write a fantasy epic that spans 4 centuries. News highlights Lin Shibi, an expert in Japan, shared that Japan's current duty-free system requires swiping passport and tax return machines at immigration checkpoints, which usually skip the queue quickly, but he has rarely encountered queues at Kansai Airport recently. Most passengers often choose to pass directly without swiping their passports due to duty-free checked baggage, resulting in tax loss. Statistics show that most of the large duty-free shoppers have not been seized. Japan plans to change to airport tax refunds, where passengers swipe their passports before leaving the country and may have large shopping baggage checked. Lin Shibi believes that most passengers will not have much impact, but high-end consumers should arrive at the airport early to avoid delays. News highlights a female proxy believer was forced to borrow nearly 1.7 billion yuan to fellow believers for 5 years because she had listened to the instructions of her mother for a long time. The family criticized the palace and temple for forcing debts on the grounds of accumulating blessings and eliminating karma, and accused them of eating and drinking spicy food but putting their mother to a dead end, demanding that the society seek justice for the deceased. News highlights at 7:52 a.m. today, a magnitude 5.0 earthquake occurred in Jian Township, Hualien County, with a maximum seismic intensity of 4. The surveillance footage of the Matayan Creek dammed lake shook violently for about 30 seconds, but fortunately, only a small amount of landslides were seen, and there was no major disaster. The Hualien branch of the Forest Protection Department used drones to survey and confirmed that the dammed lake was not affected, and there were no abnormal changes in the downstream water level. News highlights in the early morning before the National Day, the National Army conducted a full-force combination training in the air, with the Army's CH-47 and A-60 helicopters flying over Taipei with huge national flags, and the Thunder Tiger team, a Brave Eagle high-education aircraft, using colorful smoke to draw lines in the sky. The Civil Aviation Administration reminded that the sound of the fighter plane passing was shocking, which was normal training, and the public did not need to panic. News highlights moderate typhoon Hailong is far away in the southern sea of Japan and has no direct impact on Taiwan, but tropical disturbance 95W may develop into typhoon number 23 Nakli in the near future, with a path similar to Hailong. During the National Day holiday, affected by the northeast monsoon, there were sporadic short-term rains in the north, Yunnan and mountainous areas in the afternoon. Next week will still be dominated by local showers, and it may be affected by the second wave of the northeast monsoon from next Friday. News highlights director Yan Zhenqiu, who became famous for the Good Boy series of movies, passed away on the afternoon of October 7, and the funeral internet celebrity Steel Dad posted an obituary on Facebook to express his condolences, saying that his sudden departure was unbearable for relatives and friends. Director Zhu Yanping was shocked to hear the news, but Yan's wife has not yet responded. In recent months, some netizens have witnessed the sudden weight loss of the face, and it is suspected that there is a health problem. News highlights: he has appeared in Cape No. 7, Sedek. Balad, the famous director Wei Desheng, fell into debt trouble due to poor capital turnover. Last year, he reconciled with China film chairman Guo Taekyong to temporarily protect the housing property, but in March this year, his Yice warehouse film was recovered by Zhonghua Bank for nearly 3,900 yuan, and he had to jointly and severally repay the principal, interest and liquidated damages, and the financial pressure resurfaced. News highlights: doctors remind that some seemingly healthy habits may actually harm the body. Ling Kao Chong Gung Liao Jidang listed 4 major pseudo-health habits. Drinking juice every day is easy to consume. Too much sugar, excessive exercise can lead to chronic inflammation, a vegan diet may reduce immunity if the nutrition is unbalanced, and prolonged sleep, more than 9 hours, may increase the risk of cancer. The focus is on balance and moderation, not more is better. News highlights: internet celebrity curator Chen Zhihan mentioned the beheading operation when talking about cross-strait issues live, and even blurted out cut off President Li Qing's dog head, causing controversy. Media person Huang Bihan believes that the curator made a gaffe and the police prosecutor needs to investigate, but not necessarily reconducted. Li Qing called on the Chinese people not to make hateful or violent remarks, emphasizing unity and abiding by the law in order to work hard for the country. News highlights: Taiwanese veteran artist Yan Zhenqiu died of lung adenocarcinoma, and his age was not disclosed. Previously, artists such as Ant Weining, Feng Fifei, Sun Yu, and Wang Jianmin also died of lung adenocarcinoma, reminding the public to pay attention to early screening and health management. News highlights: Kaohsiung Xiaogang Pingding Conservation Area was dumped with a large amount of waste asphalt and sand, and the green space became an asphalt mountain. Mayor Chen Kamai said that he has instructed relevant units to conduct an inspection, and if they are involved in violations, they will be transferred in accordance with the law, and the landlord and the perpetrator will be held accountable. News highlights: Taiwanese President Lai Ching-te said on the American conservative radio program Clay Travis and Buck Sexton Show that if former U.S. President Trump can persuade Chinese President Xi Jinping to give up using force against Taiwan, he should win the Nobel Peace Prize. Lai pointed out that he would advise Trump to pay special attention to Xi Jinping's military expansion in the Taiwan Strait, East China Sea and South China Sea. A White House spokesperson responded that Trump deserves to have won the Nobel Peace Prize many times and called him chief peacemaker. This interview allowed Lai Ching-te, as president, to explain Taiwan's position to American conservative radio listeners, which has diplomatic and national security significance. News highlights: good boy actor Yan Zhenqiu died of lung adenocarcinoma at the age of 50. Nutritionist Liu Maibao pointed out that a high-sugar and high-fat diet may promote the growth of lung adenocarcinoma cells, and it is recommended to eat a balanced diet, consume more antioxidant fruits, vegetables, fruits, and berries, and combine it with exercise and good sleep to reduce the risk of cancer cell metabolism. News highlights: Tainan City's 2026 local elections are hot. Green Committee members Lin Zhengxian and Chen Tingfei are competing for the party primary. Blue Committee member Xia Longjia analyzed that Lin's biggest opponent is time and pointed out that Tainan villagers are willing to change. He reminded not to underestimate Lin's advertising offensive, emphasizing that leading in the polls does not mean final victory, and citing past election reversal cases to illustrate that the election situation is still difficult to predict. News highlights: DPP legislator Wang Yushuan used Taichung to issue 4 yuan as an example to demonstrate the 4 steps of operating fake issues, which sparked discussion and was reported for violating the Social Security law. After the trial, the Shilin District Court held that Wang had no intention of spreading rumors, and the information was not enough to affect public peace, and ruled not to punish him. News highlights today, 8th, during the cold dew solar term, international star numerologist Chu Yanlong pointed out that the 4 zodiac signs of rabbit, rooster, dog, and horse are wealthy and prosperous, and there are many opportunities for nobles to help each other. The overall 12 zodiac horoscopes show that horses, dogs, roosters, and rabbits have good fortunes, and tigers, snakes, dragons, etc. also have opportunities to repay, but you need to pay attention to emotions and interpersonal interactions to avoid excessive impulsiveness or idealized behavior. News highlights: the nominee for the U.S. Department of Defense's Assistant Secretary for Indo-Pacific Security John Liu attended a congressional hearing on the 8th and reiterated that Taiwan's military needs to reform in various aspects such as training, mobilization, military-civilian integration, and information security, and supported raising defense spending to 10% of GDP. He emphasized that strengthening defense can improve the deterrence effect and will give priority to suggesting accelerating arms sales to Taiwan to deal with possible threats. News highlights: during the disaster relief of the overflow of the dammed lake in Matayan Creek in Hualien, Lin Hongsan, the owner of the Dawin Excavator Company, was unfortunately injured and infected with sepsis, and was pronounced dead on the 6th at the age of 48. During the disaster relief, he continued to work after being stabbed in his left foot, and his condition worsened and he was transferred to the hospital but still died. The Darwin Sand and Gravel Association said that due to the urgency of the situation, Lin Hongson was not insured and would assist his family in handling funeral expenses, and had already issued condolences in advance. News highlights: the high-speed rail will implement a new system of quiet carriages from September 22, with the initial 3 months as a persuasion period, and service staff will patrol and persuade passengers who speak loudly or listen to music without headphones. Legislator Zhang Yalin pointed out that some parents were reminded to take their babies in the car with a sign, which sparked netizens to discuss whether to add parent-child-friendly carriages to take into account the needs of tranquility and parent-child. News highlights: the public launched a 4-day work system on the public policy platform, working 4 days a week and taking 3 days off. This issue has sparked a two-pronged discussion. Supporters believe it can improve physical and mental health and life balance, while opponents worry about longer working hours, reduced wages, and the burden on companies. News highlights: during the Hualien 923 flood, a man surnamed Shen rolled in the muddy water for 90 minutes, survived the danger with his will to survive, and was injured and sent to the hospital to complete debridement surgery on his left leg in Mackay, Taitung on the 7th, and is expected to be discharged from the hospital on the 9th. He was most worried about the resettlement of his mother and daughter, and his wife was hospitalized to take care of him. News highlights: President Lai Ching-te decided to send Representative Lin Xinyi to attend the 2025 APEC Economic Leaders Meeting in Gyeongju, South Korea. The theme of the conference is Building a Sustainable Tomorrow, focusing on trade linkage, digital innovation, and inclusive prosperity, which is highly consistent with Taiwan's promotion of AI, smart manufacturing, and health policies. News highlights: good boy child star Yan Zhenqiu died of lung adenocarcinoma at the age of 50. At the age of 17, he performed in Young Man, An. The role of Aguo-in, which truly presents the struggle and passion of the people at the bottom. Netizens shared movie stills and sighed. The other protagonist in the film, Tan's Higang, was already there in 1993 DIED. In an accidental fall, the 4 main actors are now all reunited in heaven. News highlights: the high temperature in autumn this year is still 30 degrees, and the short-term cooling in Taipei is less than 20 degrees. Meteorological expert Lin Dean pointed out that the current is only a weak northeast wind, and the real northeast monsoon needs cold air to strengthen, and the minimum temperature drops below 20 degrees, and it is expected that there will be a significant cooling in late October. News highlights: a bilingual kindergarten in Lingkou, New Taipei City, was accused by YouTuber parents of using tape to seal their mouths, slap their faces, and lock them in a small dark room to discipline their children, which aroused social concern. After the inspection by the Education Bureau, it was determined that the kindergarten had illegal education and care services, and it had been ordered to suspend business and could be fined 30 yuan. The kindergarten said that after surveillance video and investigation, no inappropriate behavior was found, and it is willing to cooperate with the investigation. News highlights: 50-year-old actor good boy Yan Zhenqiu died of lung adenocarcinoma on the 7th, and his condition deteriorated rapidly, indicating the high risk and insidiousness of lung adenocarcinoma. Lung cancer is the #1 killer of Chinese people. Lung adenocarcinoma accounts for about 50%, and many artists have suffered from it in the past year or so, including Wang Jianmin, Kai Wilin, Lu Jian, Wang Xinlian, and Tian Ruini. News highlights: in order to ensure the safety of passengers, from now on, the power bank is not allowed to be charged in luggage and should be carried with or placed on the table. In the event of a fire and explosion, passengers are responsible for legal and compensation and are advised to use qualified products. News highlights: internet celebrity Daimei recently posted a bald photo without makeup on IG, causing netizens to worry about her health. In response, Daimei responded that the photo was taken with a bald head filter, and she was in good health, and she shared it purely because she thought the photo was cute, thanking fans for their concern. News highlights: Marl Inland Marine Park in Ontario, Canada, was rejected for exporting beluga whales and unsuccessfully applied for government funding, threatening to humanely dispose of 30 beluga whales, triggering strong condemnation from domestic and foreign animal protection groups, criticizing the park for using animals as a financial bargaining chip, and calling on the government to intervene to protect the welfare of beluga whales. News highlights: a magnitude 5.0 earthquake occurred in Hualien at 7:52, with the epicenter located in Jian Township, with a depth of 6.1 kilometers and a maximum seismic intensity of 4 in Hualien. Because the dammed lake of Matayangzi may collapse again, the official urgently ordered the people of Guangfu Township, Fenglan Township, and Wanrong Township to evacuate immediately and avoid approaching the river bank. News highlights: after the new president of the Liberal Democratic Party of Japan, Sani Takaichi, took office, the Nikkei index continued to soar and hit record highs, which the market called high market trading. Gao Shi advocated active fiscal and loose monetary policy to boost stock market confidence, but concerns about the fiscal deficit increased, and the yield on 10-year Treasury bonds hit a 17-year high. News highlights: the Kuomintang chairman election will be re-elected on October 18. Zhang Yazhong said that he has entrusted his office to contact Hao Longbin to arrange a one-on-one debate on cross-strait and intra-party issues, emphasizing that the debate is related to the future of the party in Taiwan, and hopes to realize it as soon as possible, and called on the media or social groups to assist in the arrangement. News highlights at 7:52 a.m. today, 8th, a 5.0 magnitude earthquake occurred in Hualien, and the county government mistakenly issued an alarm that the dammed lake of Matayan Creek was likely to collapse, and asked the villagers of Guangfu, Fenglin, and Wanrong to evacuate. The central government coordinated and pointed out that the condition of the dammed lake is stable and the overflow outlet is normal, so there is no need for the public to panic for the time being and will continue to observe closely. News highlights October 7th marks the second anniversary of Hamas's raid on Israel, and memorial events were held across Israel to mourn the deaths of more than 1,200 people and the abduction of 251 people. The Israeli-Kazakhstan ceasefire negotiations are progressing slowly, the war in Gaza continues, and the humanitarian crisis worsens. U.S. polls show that support for Israeli military action has dropped to 32%, while opponents have reached 60%. News highlights pro-Russian hacker group Z. The Penteist Alliance claimed to have hacked into the POS system of a gas station in Xi and released a 27-minute demonstration video, which was a non-destructive silent infiltration reconnaissance. Information security experts warn that such attacks threaten critical infrastructure and recommend implementing zero trust and isolation. Post-He network segment also introduces behavioral analysis and trapping technology to strengthen defense. News highlights the parking lot near Kaohsiung Fengshan Chinese night market was renovated and the fee was increased to 100 yuan per hour on holidays, causing public dissatisfaction. The recent price list seems to have dropped to 25 yuan, which is actually 15 minutes/yuan, which is still 100 yuan per hour. The Transportation Bureau said that the charges are legal, but it has reminded the operators to make clear announcements to avoid misunderstandings among consumers. News highlights veteran actor Yan Zhenqiu passed away due to illness on the 7th of this month, 50 years old. He made his debut as a child star, and his representative works include Good Boy, Young Man, Anla, and Cornerhead series, in which he played the role of Aguo. Yan Zhenqiu was involved in drug and gun cases in his early years, and returned to the film industry after being released from prison and directed Corner Head 2, The King Rises, which was eye-catching at the box office. His death made the Cornerhead series exist. The four leading actors have passed away one after another, which makes fans sigh. News highlights OpenAI and AMD have reached a cooperation to deploy 6GW Instinct GPUs in the next few years to support AI model computing, and obtain warrants issued by AMD, which can obtain about 10% of the equity after meeting the target. This move strengthens OpenAI's computing power and ecological chain layout, promotes AI infrastructure construction, and drives AMD's stock price to soar by more than 30%. News highlights global economic uncertainty and geopolitical turmoil have pushed up safe haven demand, with gold futures breaking through $4,000 per ounce on October 7, with a cumulative increase of more than 50% this year. Bridgewater founder Dario suggests allocating 15% to gold, while Gunblack is optimistic that it will break above $4,000 by the end of 2025, but Bank of America warns that prices may consolidate or pull back in the fourth quarter. News highlights U.S. stocks hit a high after the AI theme, but the market's doubts about the profit of technology stocks increased, and funds flowed out of high-valued stocks. Oracle plummeted and Tesla's new cars fell short of expectations, dragging down TSMC's ADR by nearly 3%. The S&P 500 closed down 0.38%, the Nasdaq fell 0.67%, the Philadelphia fell 2.06%, and the Dow Jones fell slightly by 0.2%. News highlights Taiwanese veteran artist Yan Zhenqiu died of stage 4 lung adenocarcinoma on October 7 at the age of 50. Most patients with lung adenocarcinoma do not smoke, have no obvious symptoms in the early stages, and are often diagnosed in the advanced stage, with a high mortality rate. Doctors recommend that people over 45 years old undergo regular low-dose chest computed tomography, LDCT, screening to detect early and reduce the risk of death. News highlights in the past, diamonds symbolized noble wealth, but their value has plummeted by 74% since 2020, hit by man-made diamonds. On the other hand, gold and silver rose strongly, with gold up 141% and silver 171%, and China's silver bonds were oversubscribed, with central bank buying replacing U.S. bonds and pushing up precious metal prices. News highlights President Lai Ching-te said that if Trump can persuade Xi Jinping to abandon the use of force against Taiwan, he should win the Nobel Peace Prize. The White House responded that Trump deserves multiple Peace Prize recognitions. Lai emphasized that Taiwan will increase its defense budget to 5% of GDP, defend national security, and reject Beijing's sovereignty claims. News highlights British media reported that China sometimes cut off the water supply to the British Embassy in Beijing, forcing the British side to approve its plan to build a super embassy in London. The British side pointed out that the embassy renovation contract was approved in 2020 but was not approved by the Chinese side, causing staff to temporarily work on the squash court. Conservative MPs criticized China's methods as shocking, and the British government may approve the plan soon. News highlights Taiwanese veteran artist Yan Zhenqiu died of stage 4 lung adenocarcinoma on October 7 at the age of 50, just 3 days before his birthday. He entered the industry at the age of 4, participated in The Hometownsman directed by Lee Sing at the age of 6, starred in the Good Boy series and many movies after his debut as a child star, and was nominated for the Golden Horse Award for the first time in 1983 with My Son's Big Doll. When he was a teenager, he faced the death penalty due to school bullying and academic backwardness, and was later involved in a kidnapping and ransom case, and finally served 15 years in prison. After being released from prison on parole in 2013, he returned to the entertainment industry, published an autobiography, filmed a microfilm, and directed Jiao 2, The Rise of the King in 2018, which grossed more than 1.27 billion yuan at the box office. Yan Zhenqiuo's last Facebook post was posted on September 17, reporting his safety to fans, and the news of his death made fans mourn. News highlights Huang Qiukang's paparazzi storm spread, and the Secretary General of the Presidential Palace, Pan Meng'an, was secretly photographed. Former United Daily News reporter Ho Lian clarified that the newspaper president asked her to cooperate with Kuomintang legislator Wang Hongwei to report on the Pan case, but this was not her will. Ho pointed out that balanced reporting was mostly put in the paid area, and he did not agree with the newspaper's handling method, so he resigned. United Daily News responded that Ho has explained that he will not comment on the news. News highlights the 2025 APEC Economic Leaders Meeting will be held in Gyeongju, South Korea from 10:31 to 11/1, focusing on regional economic cooperation and technological innovation. The presidential office announced that Lin Xinyi, senior advisor to the presidential office and chairman of Taishan, will represent Taiwan for the third time, having previously served as a leadership representative in 2005 and 2024. Lin Xinyi has rich experience in industry and government, and will convey Taiwan's policy achievements in AI, population challenges, and sustainable development, echoing the Lai Ching-te administration's policy axis of building a sustainable tomorrow. News highlights leveraged stock depositor holds more than 200 shares of 00878 with steady discipline and high dividend ETF, with a cumulative dividend of nearly 80, and lays out 0056 to level the monthly cash flow. Through dividend reinvestment and long-term holding strategies, he has rolled out tens of millions of assets in 5 years, is now 37 years old, and aims to achieve financial freedom at the age of 40. News highlights the Trump administration's frequent investments in key industry companies, including rare earth, lithium, and chip companies, have caused stock prices to skyrocket and trigger investors to chase government subsidy concept stocks. Even if the news is not clear, the market still operates based on flow and momentum, and the inflow of related ETFs has increased significantly, and retail investors are at high risk of chasing. News highlights TSMC, 2,330, stock price hit a new high, closing at 1,435 yuan, with a market value of 37.2 trillion yuan, a cumulative increase of more than 30% this year. Motley Fool is optimistic that there is still room for growth in the future, mainly due to the surge in global chip demand, the expansion of factories in the United States to strengthen the supply chain, and the continued leadership of technology, including the increase in gross profit and market share driven by 2nm and A16 processes. News highlights Saudi Arabia has launched the world's largest Arabic generative AI humane chat, equipped with the Alam 34B large language model, marking a breakthrough in AI technology in the Middle East. This move promotes the development of local AI and infrastructure, and Taiwanese AI server foundries such as Honhai and Wyvern will benefit, with Honhai and Saudi Arabia cooperating the closest. News highlights NVIDIA's Taiwan headquarters originally planned to be stationed in T17 and T18 in Vaitashilan Science and Technology Park, but due to the failure of the superficial rights contract between Shinkong Life Insurance and the North City government, the North City government launched the Plan B and planned to recommend the integration plan of T12 and surrounding private land, actively retain NVIDIA, and has negotiated with the landlord about 3 hectares of land waiting for NVIDIA's decision. News highlights Taiwan stocks were affected by the decline in US stocks on the 8th, the memory group cooled down, Winbond fell more than 6.5%, PSMC pulled back 3.5%, but Team Group and ADATA suspended quotations at the same time. Team Group hit the daily limit in early trading to return to 100 yuan, and ADATA revenue hit a 19-year high in a single month. The industry is optimistic that the shortage of DRAM and NAND will continue, and the industry boom can be expected in 2026. News highlights Finance Minister Zhuang Qiun said that if the Legislative Yuan passes the special budget for resilience on October 17 and is announced by the President, the general cash is expected to be disbursed by November 17. The Ministry of Finance will hold a press conference on the day of the announcement to explain the collection methods, including registration, ATM or post office collection, etc., and carry out diversified publicity to ensure that the public can receive it smoothly. News highlights the central bank's special article pointed out that real estate is not an economic locomotive, triggering a backlash in the real estate industry. Expert Li Tongrong criticized the central bank for belittling the housing industry and rationalizing the failure of housing strikes, emphasizing that real estate is the engine of domestic demand, driving huge employment and taxes, which is no less than the manufacturing industry. He called on the central bank not to cover up policy shortcomings with discourse, but to review the sound development of the housing market and the powers and responsibilities of the supervisor. News highlights Hualien Guangfu Township was hit hard by the overflow of the Matayan Creek dammed lake, and more than 200 masseurs and therapists formed their own Massage Superman group to relieve fatigue for volunteers, victims, and the National Army. The initiators Ke Yuying and Liang Zhijia originally did not know how to massage, but due to the pain of shoveling soil, they called on the master to participate, serving more than 400 people every day. Supplies were transported by volunteers in relay, demonstrating the warmth of the people and the strength of mutual assistance after the disaster. News highlights internet celebrities accused their 3-year-old daughter of improperly disciplined in a bilingual kindergarten in Lingkou, New Taipei, such as taping her mouth, slapping her face, and locking up a small dark room, causing her to have nightmares at night. The Education Bureau's inspection found that the kindergarten was illegally running a school in the name of a cram school, and ordered it to close immediately and provide surveillance footage for verification within a time limit, with a maximum fine of 60 yuan. The police have not yet received a report and will take the initiative to contact the parents to clarify. News highlights actor Yan Zhenqiu passed away the day after the Mid-Autumn Festival due to lung adenocarcinoma at the age of 50, it caused mourning from all walks of life. He became popular with Good Boy and was in Young Man. The character in the play was killed during the Mid-Autumn Festival, and in reality, he also passed away at the same time, making fans sigh that drama is like life. News highlights Budweiser Foods was suspected of bleaching pig intestines with industrial-grade hydrogen peroxide, and the Ministry of Health and Welfare has sealed 12,604 kilograms. The 784 kilograms sold are still being sampled, and a fine of more than 50 million yuan will be issued in accordance with the food safety law and transferred to the investigation. News highlights after the magnitude 5.0 earthquake in Hualien this morning, Guangfu, Fenglin and other places mistakenly received evacuation warnings for dammed lakes. After investigation, the condition of the dammed lake is stable and there is no abnormality. The disaster area continues to clean up ditches, inspect water and electricity, and resume classes on campus, and the reconstruction progress is expected to be completed in mid-October. News highlights Yan Zhenqiu, a child star turned artist, died of lung adenocarcinoma yesterday, 7th, at the age of 50, and the entertainment industry felt the same grief. My friend Steel Dad revealed that he was diagnosed with terminal lung adenocarcinoma last year and was still strong and fought the disease for a year. Director Zhu Yanping, actors Zhang Fenji and Cao Ye all posted condolences, and Tan Ichen, who had worked with Good Boy, also recalled his past of taking care of the crew, lamenting that he died young and lost a sincere good person in the film industry. News highlights Lin Hongsan, the owner of Dawin Engineering Company, unfortunately passed away during the Mid-Autumn Festival due to sepsis caused by wound infection, and his age is unknown. He once went to Hualien to support disaster relief and was known as the Excavator Superman, and his selfless spirit touched the whole Taiwan. The Dawin Sand and Gravel Association admitted the omission and apologized, promising to subsidize his family. The Ministry of Labor stated that it will clarify the identification of occupational accidents, and all sectors of society will mourn his heroic actions for the people. News highlights the People's Party's Huang Qiuking's paparazzi spread, and Li Zhengao released a screenshot stating that Wang Hengwei and his assistant Zhang Kaiwei manipulated the United Daily News to smear Pan Mengan, and arranged for the paparazzi to follow him to smoke hot cigarettes, demanding that Wang Hengwei publicly apologize and step down. Wang denied that the assistant was involved in any whistleblower association or had contact with Wang. News highlights lung cancer is the cancer with the highest incidence, mortality, and advanced stage rate in Taiwan, and health insurance expenditure also ranks first, with a younger population and an increase in the proportion of female non-smokers. Early-stage lung cancer can be surgically cured, and advanced treatment is expensive and has a high mortality rate. Experts recommend low-dose chest tomography, LDCT, screening for people over 40 years old to improve survival rates. News highlights Taiwan's first self-made Galaxy satellite Fuwei 8, named after the Zeppelin satellite, set off for launch in the United States on October 7, with a localization rate of 84%, developed by more than 20 Taiwanese companies, symbolizing Taiwan's entry into the era of space independence and continuing Zeppelin's spirit of seeing Taiwan. News highlights under the rise in housing prices, old apartments are attractive to first-time buyers with their total price and square footage, but the shrinking bank loans, the increase in self-prepared funds, coupled with the high age of the house, the lack of elevators and the demand for decoration, have raised the threshold for entry. The Shuangbei market is showing a slow decline in volume and prices, and home buyers need to carefully assess the risks of funds and objects. News highlights gold hits a new all-time high. On the 7th, the spot hit $3,977.19 per ounce, and futures broke through $4,000 for the first time. Gold will soar nearly 50% in 2025, its best performance since 1979, with Goldman Sachs raising a target price of $4,900, and Bridgewater founder Dario also recommending increasing his holdings of gold as a hedge. News highlights for the first time, the Japan Agency for Marine Earth Science and Technology, JAMSTEC, observed subsidence about 2,000 meters from the bottom of the Nankai Trough, with the southeastern sea of the Kii Peninsula subsiding about 1.5 centimeters per year and the southwest offshore about 2.5 centimeters per year. This discovery helps to monitor the precursors of huge earthquakes in real time, and the Japan Earthquake Investigation Committee raised the probability of earthquakes in the Nankai Trough to more than 60% to 90% within 30 years. News highlights: the Chunghwa Telecom Union accused Kinmen legislator Chen Yuzhen of intervening in the company's promotion case and abusing the power of the legislator to help specific people secure positions. The labor union emphasized that there is only one union representative in the company's personnel evaluation meeting, and it is impossible to secretly suppress, and criticized Chen Yuzhen for lacking evidence, calling on her to resign and take responsibility to maintain corporate governance and fair promotion. News highlights: a fatal brawl over a drug dispute occurred in Wanhua district late at night on the 6th, and 42-year-old Chen Nan and 54-year-old Chen Nan met to negotiate and break out a conflict, helping Li Nan stab Lu Nan in the chest with a fruit knife, and Lu Nan was sent to the hospital but still died. The police arrested 3 people, including Li Nan, Chen Nan, and Lin Nu, and continued to pursue other accomplices, and the whole case was investigated as murder, gathering a crowd to fight an injury. News highlights: the DPP election meeting made a decision on the 7th, with Green Committee member Wang Maihui running for mayor of Chi and Green Committee member Chen Ying running for Taitung County mayor. The primary election of Jianan High School is expected to be held simultaneously in mid-January next year, and Keelung City CAI adaptation maintains an open attitude, and candidates in Hualien, Mieli and other places are still being counted. News highlights: in the countdown to the Kuomintang presidential election, candidate Luo's Haiqiang emphasized that he had encountered rumors such as withdrawing from the election to Zheng Luan and forming an alliance with Hao Zhu, emphasizing that he had never formed an alliance privately and did not operate a strategy of abandoning the guarantee, and called on supporters to help clarify that he would persist in fighting to the end and strive for a come-from-behind victory. News highlights: with the arrival of cold dew in 2025, teacher Xiaomeng Taluo Yunwei pointed out that cold dew is a good time for financial management and accumulating wealth. Zodiac signs Rat, Rabbit, Dog, and zodiac signs Capricorn, Gemini, and Pisces are easy to seize opportunities for partial wealth and positive wealth due to their down-to-earth, flexible, or cautious personalities, and receive help and cooperation from noble people, and their income and assets have increased significantly. News highlights: a 21-year-old female college student in Zhejiang province sought medical attention due to a persistent cough, and was initially misdiagnosed as pneumonia. Doctors remind that dry cough should be checked early for more than 2 weeks to avoid missing the opportunity for treatment. News highlights: a netizen waited for the plane to board the plane and found 2 women trying to take his luggage, and the other party argued that they made a mistake and left. The incident reminds passengers that they must be optimistic about their luggage at foreign airports to prevent theft or accidental takeover. News highlights: YouTuber Black Man street matching video caused controversy, because the woman did not like the object and was criticized by netizens for her embarrassing expression. He has taken down the video and publicly apologized, calling for rational messages to avoid affecting the lives of the parties involved, and will handle relevant content more carefully in the future. News highlights: the influenza epidemic is heating up, and many classes of students have asked for leave one after another after the holidays, and some students with high fever still come to school without wearing masks, causing dissatisfaction among parents. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention pointed out that there were 16 new severe deaths last week, including an unvaccinated 5-year-old girl, and called on parents to avoid sick children from going to school, pay attention to epidemic prevention and influenza vaccination. News highlights: 50-year-old actor Yan Zhenqiu died of lung adenocarcinoma at the age of 50. He was diagnosed in November 2024, and after nearly a year of fighting cancer, he passed away peacefully on the afternoon of October 7, 2025, surrounded by his family. The family thanked all walks of life for their concern and the care of the medical team, and the time of the public memorial service and farewell ceremony will be announced. News highlights: the high-speed rail reminds passengers that the power bank should not be charged in the bag, but should be kept within sight and use certified products to prevent spontaneous combustion. If a fire is caused by negligence, passengers are legally liable for compensation. News highlights: on the evening of the 3rd, the police seized 2 people engaged in half a set of transactions with a search ticket, and brought back the woman surnamed when in charge, and seized cash, mobile phones, semen towels and other evidence on the spot, and the whole case was transferred for investigation according to the crime of obstructing morals. News highlights: the Taiwan Steel Falcons announced today, 8th, that former NBA Nuggets star Kenneth Faried will join and become the 3rd foreign player in the new season. The 203 centimeters, 100 kilograms Faried is known for his jumping power and rebounding, has played for the Nuggets, Nets and Rockets, and won the World Cup gold medal with the United States. News highlights: meteorological expert Lindeen said that due to the weak northeast wind this week, the temperature in the north is still above 20 degrees, and the real significant cooling will not be until late October. Today's northeast monsoon brings local short-term rain, the western half is sunny and hot, and the high temperature in some areas can reach 35 to 36 degrees. News highlights: actor Yang Zhenqiu passed away from lung adenocarcinoma at the age of 50. If the cough lasts for more than 2 weeks or is accompanied by symptoms such as asthma, chest pain, and coughing up blood, you should seek medical attention as soon as possible. The National Health Administration has provided free LDCT screening every 2 years for high-risk groups, which can help early detection and improve survival rates. News highlights: Chinese actor Yu Hazy fell to his death last month at the age of 37. The autopsy report showed multiple trauma and internal organ injuries, which did not match the official statement that he accidentally fell from a building after drinking, causing heated public opinion. News highlights: YouTuber's blackmail street matching video caused controversy, and a female guest with a European and American appearance was criticized by netizens for not liking the object and her embarrassing expression in front of the camera. The black man has taken down the video and publicly apologized, calling for rational comments, and the woman has also turned IG private to avoid cyber attacks. News highlights: 50-year-old actor and director Yang Zhenqiu he passed away from lung adenocarcinoma on the 7th, shocking and mourning in the entertainment industry. He has collaborated on movie Shuang Shanghe and Li Qiana from Young Boy on the 8th. He went to offer condolences in a low-key manner, thanking the director for his support and calling on the outside world to respect the privacy of the family. Yang Zhenqiu is not only a powerful actor, but also created the 5 Tigers of the North Pavilion movie universe, which has a profound impact on the film and television industry. News highlights: million YouTuber Joeman has reduced major makeovers since 2017 and disclosed 8 of his medical aesthetic experiences. He recommends losing weight and straightening first, the most obvious effect and saving money, while the rest such as Botox, picosecond laser, cellulite injections, etc. need regular maintenance. Joeman especially recommends Botox and laser for men, focusing on physical adjustment and medical aesthetics, and should consult a professional doctor. News highlights: senior artist Yang Zhenqiu passed away at 4:57 p.m. yesterday, 7th, due to stage 4 lung adenocarcinoma. Lung adenocarcinoma has inconspicuous symptoms and is often mistaken for a cold, and is often found at an advanced stage, known as the silent killer. Coincidentally, last year's actor Wang Jianmin also passed away from lung adenocarcinoma on October 7th, and many artists have also spread news of lung adenocarcinoma in the past year, which has attracted attention. News highlights: Minister of the Interior Liu Shifang said that the application for the relief fund for the affected households in Guangfu Township has been opened on the 7th, and the Executive Yuan has set up a one-stop service station to provide convenient channels, and 1,837 households have been listed as eligible for housing repair subsidies. At the same time, the earthquake in Jian Township on the 8th did not affect the dam body of the dammed lake, and relevant units will continue to monitor it. News highlights: the DPP confirmed on the 7th that Chen Ying, a legislator from the Plains Aborigines, will run for the 2026 Taitung County mayor election. Kuomintang Taitung County Speaker Wu Ziahua announced his candidacy, and the party's nomination process will start next year. No one in the People's Party has expressed its position yet. The layout of the candidates of each party is gradually becoming clear, and the election campaign has quietly begun. News highlights: artist Yang Zhenqiu died of lung adenocarcinoma on October 7th at the age of 50. Since Taiwan implemented free low-dose computed tomography screening in 2022, more than 900 lung cancer patients have been detected, most of which are early, which can help improve survival rates. News highlights: a fierce conflict broke out in the Legislative Yuan today, 8th, with Kuomintang legislator KZN and DPP legislator Lai Rulong meeting head-on at the elevator entrance over the Mainam Grand Canyon sand and gravel illegal mining case. Lai asked K to apologize, but K emphasized that he never mentioned the word Lai Rulong at the press conference, and only spoke about the theft incident and the amendment of the law. News highlights: the Taipei city government negotiated with Huida on the 7th, proposing to use the T12 base as the headquarters site and integrate the surrounding private land through a public-private joint development model, with a total area of 3.7 hectares, which meets the needs of Huida. The city government will use superficial rights royalties to acquire private land, and if it is insufficient to reformulate the budget, NVIDIA said it will bring it back for research, and the Taipei headquarters case still has a turning point. News highlights: the Finance Committee of the Legislative Yuan reviewed the special budget for universal cash, and Finance Minister Zhuang Quyun said that if the budget is passed on the third reading on October 17th, 1 yuan can be distributed within 1 month after the President's announcement. News highlights: the Financial Supervisory Commission promotes Taiwan to become an Asian asset management center, with the goal of reaching 60 trillion yuan in wealth management by 2030, and Kaohsiung is the first pilot site. E.Sun Bank took the lead in opening the Kaohsiung Asset Management Zone, providing diversified private equity and premium financing services to assist high-net-worth groups in asset allocation and inheritance. The bank combines international partners to promote ESG and infrastructure investment, and develops family offices and cross-border wealth management platforms connecting Taiwan, Hong Kong, and Singapore, and is committed to building a globally competitive private banking system.